Hello friends, myself Dr. Ankit J. Shah, Assistant Professor at Sri P. M. Patel Institute of Biosciences, Anand, affiliated to Sardar Patel University, Vallabh Vidyanagar, and managed by Anand People's Medicare Society, Anand. Today, in this video, I would like to teach students of BSc semester 3 in the main branch of chemistry, and in this session I will discuss on subject physical chemistry and subject code according to Sardar Patel University is US03 CCHE22, and in this session I will be sharing my thoughts on unit number 2, that is chemical thermodynamics, and keywords of this session are Hess's law. So students, as you all know that if you have watched my previous videos, we have covered so many topics of this unit. So first, before starting this video, I would like to remind you that what we have gone through in this unit, because in the upcoming topic will be very important, but for that you must know our previous topics. But first of all, I would like to request you all, please subscribe this YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed until now, subscribe this, because you will get to see all the videos of mine and my colleagues of all your subjects during the bell icon, so you will get the notification whenever the video is uploaded for you. So, and it's a kind of material to you for the preparation of external exam. So once again, I'll request you, if you like my video, like it, share it to your friends, and do watch this video till the end, because in the end I will revise the entire topic once again and give you the important questions that can be asked from this section. So now, without wasting any time, let's move towards our syllabus. So first, I would like to remind you what we have seen until now. So students, in this unit we have seen 10-12 definitions, that is homogeneous system means which has only one phase, heterogeneous system which has more than one phase. Then we have seen system. You know the definition of system: a small part of universe which is separated by other part, where practicals are done and results are noted down. That is known as system. Surrounding the part of universe, the other part of universe other than system, known as surrounding. Now types of surrounding, in which we have seen three things, that is open system, closed system, isolated system. So how to differentiate this? So I told you that just remember two words: mass and energy. If mass and energy both can be exchanged between system and surrounding, it is known as open system. If only energy is exchanged nor mass, then it is closed system. And neither energy nor mass can be exchanged spontaneously, then it is known as isolated system. Then we have seen process, 6 different kinds of processes. There is isothermal process, means temperature constant. Adiabatic process means heat of a reaction is constant. Isobaric process means pressure of the system is constant. Isochoric process means volume constant. Reversible process means which is done in infinite time, that is known as reversible process. Irreversible process which is done in very large time, that is known as irreversible process. So we have seen this huge classification of thermodynamics based on system and surroundings. Then we have seen some important theories like first law of thermodynamics, in which you remember that three sentence: total energy of the universe is constant, you cannot destroy energy, cannot create energy, just you can do is transform from one form to another form. Now I would like to say that in that case we have seen mathematical form of first law of thermodynamics also, and that is delta E is equal to Q plus W. That we have proved the equation delta E is equal to Q plus W. Now from using this first law of thermodynamics, we have derived three different theories. They are all are 2 mark question and very very important. That is, first is internal energy and first law of thermodynamics, in which we have proved delta E is equal to QB. Then we have seen enthalpy and first law of thermodynamics, in which we have proved the equation delta H is equal to QP. And in the mole and first law of thermodynamics, we have seen delta H is equal to delta E plus delta NGRT. So we have seen that. Then we have seen heat capacity, amount of energy required to increase the temperature by 1 degree centigrade, known as heat capacity. Then we have derived the relation, that is Cp minus Cv is equal to R. So we have proved this equation. And if you have seen my last video, in which we have seen this Hess's law of constant heat summation. So this much we have seen until now in this unit. So now we will start with temperature dependence. That is the last topic of this unit. That is very well known as Kirchhoff's law. It is very well known as Kirchhoff's law. So what is this temperature dependence? Here we have to derive a relation between enthalpy change for having same reaction with different steps. So it is said that the fact that enthalpy change is a state function. Students, you must remember what is state function. A property which only depends on initial state and final state, but do not depend on by which method we are reaching the stages. That is state function. So the enthalpy change is a state function that leads us to understand the temperature dependence at enthalpy change delta H of any reaction is a function of temperature, and delta H for same reaction can be different at different temperatures. So it is easy to understand over here is, if suppose a reaction is carried out, it has some energy, enthalpy. Energy may be positive, may be negative, depending on whether the reaction is exothermic or endothermic. But if you change the temperature of the reaction, then delta H will definitely be different for that different temperature. એટલે કે મિત્રો આપણે જ્યારે કોઈ પણ રાસાયણિક પ્રક્રિયા કરીએ છીએ તો એમાં થતો એન્થાલ્પીમાં ફેરફાર આપણને મળે છે. ઘણીવાર એન્થાલ્પી ફેરફાર પ્લસ હોય, ઘણીવાર માઇનસ હોય. એ કેમ કે ઉષ્માક્ષેપક અથવા ઉષ્માશોષક પ્રક્રિયા પર આધાર રાખે છે. પણ જો તે જ પ્રક્રિયાનું તાપમાન બદલવામાં આવે તો તેમાં થતો એન્થાલ્પી ફેરફાર પણ બદલાય છે. So if we know the delta H of a reaction at one temperature, the delta H of this reaction at any other temperature can be calculated. એટલે કે જો કોઈ રિએક્શનનો આપણે ડેલ્ટા એચ કોઈ એક તાપમાને જાણતા હોઈએ તો બીજા તાપમાન કોઈ પણ તાપમાને તે પ્રક્રિયાનો ડેલ્ટા એચ આપણે શોધી શકીએ છીએ. એન્ડ નાઉ આઈ એમ ટેકિંગ વન એક્ઝામ્પલ. And derive the relation for a reaction in which Once it has a single step reaction, and then same reaction will convert into 3 steps, but the change in enthalpy will be same according to Hess's law. So you have to apply it and derive a relation that will be known as Kirchhoff's equation. That will be known as Kirchhoff's equation. So students, remember this. This is the most important topic of this unit, because it can be asked in your Sardar Patel University external exam in a 5-mark question, like what is Kirchhoff's law, and derive the relation for, or derive the equation of Kirchhoff's law. So students, I will start this. Let's say at the bottom part, this one is reaction. Say AA plus BB will give you CC plus DD. Here capital A, capital B are reactants, capital C and capital D are products, and small a and small b are number of moles of reactants respectively, and small c and small d are number of moles of products respectively. Now here, change in enthalpy for this reaction is said to have be delta H1. Change in enthalpy for this reaction is delta H1, and you can see that first reactants here is at temperature T1, then reactants after some time will convert into product, and again products will be having temperature T1. So the entire reaction will occur at temperature T1. Entire reaction will occur at temperature T1. Now we know the Hess's law that I have discussed in my previous video. Actually, if you have not seen this, for Hess's law you can see my previous video. I have given you the detail of Hess's law, but still once again I will tell you, if reaction is done in one step or more than one step, the change in enthalpy remains same. It is constant. So now the same reaction, I will do that in 3 different steps. In first step, these reactants will be converted into reactants, but here temperature increased from T1 to T2. As you can see, first our basic reactants are at temperature T1. When they will convert into another reactant, it will be at temperature T2, and change in enthalpy for this reaction is delta H prime, or you can say delta H dash. The change in enthalpy will be delta H dash. Now at this temperature T2, these reactants are converted into products. At temperature T2, these reactants are converted into products. That is, AA plus BB converts into CC plus DD. Here you can see that both reactants and products are having temperature T2, and change in enthalpy for this reaction is delta H2. Change in enthalpy for this reaction is delta H2. Now whatever products we are getting at temperature T2, in the third step will be converted into products at temperature T1. These products we are getting in step number 2 will be converted into products at temperature T1, and change in enthalpy for this reaction is delta H double dash or delta H double prime. So students, first you must understand this reaction. This below reaction is the basic reaction, and the same reaction will be done in 3 steps. This is your step number 1, this is your step number 2, and this will be your step number 3. And the enthalpy change for all the steps will be delta H dash, delta H2 and delta H double dash. Now according to Hess's law, we know that the change in enthalpy for a reaction, that is delta H1, will be equals to the sum of individual enthalpies of different steps. So this delta H1 must be equals to sum of these 3 steps. So according to Hess's law, we can write delta H1 is equal to delta H prime plus delta H2 plus delta H double dash. You can see that delta H dash is from first step, delta H2 from second step, and delta H double dash from third step. Now to derive the relation, we have to find delta H2. So we are taking this delta H dash and delta H double dash on left hand side. So it becomes delta H2 is equal to delta H1 minus delta H dash minus delta H double dash, and that will be our equation number 1. But now we know that we have derived the relation, that is delta H is equal to QP, and also QP is equal to CV into dt. So by comparing this equation, we can get delta H is equal to Cp into dt according to our that heat capacity theory. So you know that this is first step. So your temperature is increased from T1 to T2. Your temperature is increased from T1 to T2. So we can say that integration delta H dash is equal to integration T1 to T2 Cp R dt, because both are reactants, the entire reaction is of reactants. So we can write integration from T1 to T2 Cp into R dt. That is our equation number 2. And delta H double prime, again we will see that is, you can see this delta H double prime, both are products, but here temperature is decreased from T2 to T1. So we should write delta H double dash is equal to integration from T2 to T1 Cp products dt. That will be our equation number 3. Now we are substituting this value of equation number 2 and equation number 3 in equation number 1. So we get, that is delta H2 is equal to delta H1 minus delta H dash minus delta H double dash. So substituting the values, it will be delta H1, this is the value of delta H dash, that is integration T1 to T2 Cp reactants dt, and that is the value of delta H double dash, that is integration T2 to T1 Cp products dt. Now if I have to change this limit, I have to make them T1 to T2 from T2 to T1. So this sign will get changed. So this is negative sign, so positive. So now this is negative sign, so it becomes positive. So we are writing ahead. So it is delta H1 integration T1 to T2 Cp products dt minus integration T1 to T2 Cp reactants dt. Now taking this integration term common, so it becomes delta H1 plus in bracket Cp products minus Cp reactants bracket over integration T1 to T2 dt. Now we know that integration of dt is T, but limit is T1 to T2, so it becomes T2 minus T1, and again this term Cp products minus Cp reactants, so that becomes delta Cp, that becomes delta Cp. So our equation becomes delta H2 is equal to delta H1 plus delta Cp T2 minus T1. Delta H2 is equal to delta H1 plus delta Cp T2 minus T1. So students, that's it for this video. So we have completed the entire unit. Now you can watch my next videos in which I am conducting some MCQs for you. That will be useful to you in your preparation of exam. So do watch my next video also. Thank you.